Hello and welcome back to our part 5 of the RP slash lore stuff. I am totally sorry that I didn't realize for the last 4 episodes because I usually record these in batches and I didn't realize that it was basically not recording my audio for whatever reason. And I just don't want to sit there and, well, re-record audio and then place it on there. It's sad, but I'm sure it wasn't too bad. Some people enjoy watching things without the sounds, so. But today we will continue what we're doing. Our character, if you did not catch it, is a green pro Drake that was taught from her friend on how to basically become, well, a sort of like avatar of herself. So she's basically just continuing her life as a blood elf, learning stuff, checking things out. I'm not necessarily always going to stay in all the places, as I was saying in the last episode that no one had. Hey look, this person's level 10 warlock, that's in character, that's cool. But generally, it's just going to be a breakdown of all the stuff that will or will not happen. So we have our quests. I just want to see what we have. Because technically, we're going to skip some of them. Generally, you can explore the entire area. It's not necessarily the best idea right now. We are trying to push our character forward at the same time. So it's kind of like a mix of both. We'll be going through the understanding of like RPing and such like that, along with progressing through the story itself. I will do my best to remember that, you know, not to like sit there and leave and just be like, yeah, it's done, and I kind of cut through it. I'll still leave those parts out, and I will explain things as I go along, as best as I can. Explain, for example, why some stuff are there, or whatever is not fully explained necessarily inside of the game itself. Those are stuff that I will be talking about. You know what? We'll go kill that guy. Our other goal is not dying, which may sound really easy, but in most cases it is not. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially as you go on. Our character is playing as a marksman. She's not going to be having a pet. She's not going to have anything like that. Her whole, you can say, thing is like, I was thinking over stuff like, okay, well, would they have a pet? Would they not have a pet? They're not going to have a pet. She wouldn't really want to have one anyway. She's more like a hunter style. The only reason she survived this whole time was not because she really necessarily relied on others. It was because she figured out, well, all by herself how to do it. She's always been slightly more intelligent than the other green pro drakes, but doesn't make her necessarily super smart. For example, she doesn't have a full understanding of the language, which, you know, isn't bad. It's a new language to her. She could technically speak Draconic, so she could understand the dragons. I haven't found the add-on for that one, but I do know it's somewhere, unless they removed it, where you could actually just talk like the other dragons. So there is that. But for the most part, she's going to be more along the lines of the whole, you know, listening, but she's not really going to talk too much. She's going to have, it's basically as simple as this. Whenever we read, like missions, so when we get a quest or whatever, and in that quest it states, you know, this whole flavor text, what our character understands is basically what the objectives are. She knows what she has to do, she knows why she has to do it, for, you know, said person or whatever. What she doesn't know most of the time is the entire conversation. As she progresses through levels, as she starts like learning more of the language, that's when she'll start understanding the entire thing. But until that point, she's not really going to be in the list of full understands for that stuff. Only because, well, it's a new language to her. But yeah, as I said, our whole thing, so the restrictions on it is that we can't die in the world. We can die inside dungeons, because that will happen. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, we'll try our best not to, but it's more along lines of you can't be perfect in everything all the time. But our main goal is not to die in the world. Because let's face it, in the world, that's where you're probably not going to be revived. While in the dungeon, you'll probably be revived. So it's not so bad. And being revived is the equivalent, of anything we have today. So you die, but you don't die. So our character has gold eyes, as I'm sure, well, I mentioned for sure, but you guys didn't hear it, so. Even though characters have green normally in a Blood Elf race. Pretty sure I stated it before in the old videos, but again, without the whole volume. So the more important thing that people tend to forget is that the Blood Elves are just High Elves. They're essentially the exact same thing. That people can argue it all they want, but the only difference between them is how they got their magic source after the destruction of the Sunwell. Aside from that, they're the exact same. There's no actual radical changes, like the comparison between High Elves and Night Elves, for example, whereas the High Elves are a sort of changed form. So you have you have your Night Elves, and Night Elves have their own life on Kalimdor, and then after the banishment of all the magic-based people because of the war against the Legion and their partaking of it, the Night Elves went searching for a place to live, because they're not just going to be like, okay, fine, we'll just go die over here, it's okay. And so because of that, it led them to Azeroth. This is geez, this is a long time ago. Not too long where the humans weren't a thing, but it was long enough that there wasn't anyone necessarily where they landed. And they actually landed in Tristfall Glade, but they felt it was too dark. The energies that were there weren't very nice for them. And so they decided, let's go further, and so they crossed through the Plague Lands, which at the time weren't the Plague Lands, they're just Northern Lordaeron. And they went into where we are right now. Eversong and all that stuff. Even the Ghostlands were technically a part of it. But that was a very long time ago. I mean, essentially, anyone who's a dragon would probably have seen it for a long time based on their rather long lifespans. But it's not a necessary guarantee. Alright, what quest is this again?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. This is the one I was looking for. So we're just going to be doing, both, we're going to do the racial one, so her whole 1 to 20? And then from there we'll start picking and choosing. I mean, the whole thing with her, she is going to look around for knowledge, she's going to look around for things, she wants to see stuff, understand the world, but I mean, realistically, as a gamer, she'll be able to do that more when she's max level.
Remember the Sunwell.
While she's not the moment that close, it becomes an issue. Are you a kill quest?
Valadash Malinoran. The reckoning is at hand.
Take advantage of all those people, So a cool thing was that technically a lot of people who played WoW before, I want to say Cataclysm, I think it was, were used to playing as hunters without pet all the way to level 12. Is Great World right? Yeah, they're cool. And then after level 12 is when you would normally get your pet. We're all going to see if we can get all the kills on our way there to the Ghostlands, and then I'll come back. But if we don't, it's not the end of the world. I'll just abandon the quest. I mean, these are all sort of like events that she could do, but she doesn't necessarily have to. It's like, yeah, you can make more money, but if you kill like enough people, you could too. So can we actually have a group finder? Yeah, I thought so. The road goes through this way. So basically, this whole area here is a cause from Arthas a long time ago. No. Well, I mean, I guess it's pretty long. It was a while ago that this was caused. And it was done so because he was going to bring a person back from the dead. A certain lich, to be exact, that caused the plague to begin with within the area, which inadvertently caused him to basically become the Lich King. It's probably one of the only things I don't necessarily like about the, oh, there we go. I don't necessarily like about this whole area is that it's kind of like time locked, right? So this is all still before the events of Lich King. So this is like the Brand Crusade, which is right before the Lich King, so you don't have a lot of stuff. So basically ask us what we're staying around for. We're just like, wah. She wants us to go kill some things and get some blood. And since we weren't able to, we'll just start. I mean, yeah, it's experience we don't have, but it's not the end of the world. We'll be getting a lot of different stuff progressively. So we're going to be killing bats, killing plague dogs. I don't remember if they have all of them listed as it, but I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, just generally beasts, which we're going. So we can go anywhere we want. So this all used to be the same as the world that we were just leaving from. But what happens is that they basically change it because of, well, the dead. Oh, right, and so our character probably won't have any skills necessarily. Like, the only skill I can really justify in her design would probably be skinning, and even then is a little hard. Because you're playing as a dragon. I really doubt she skinned anything in her life other than maybe through biting it with her teeth. Yeah, only a gun such can be seen as like, that's a little hard, but it's restrictions, you know, I can't run around non-stop without advancing my weapon. What was this one? Okay. Basically, a funny thing that I thought was always funny was how the Blood Elves and the High Elves wear their colors. So, like, there's this whole event that occurred where the Blood Elves forever will wear basically red, and the High Elves refuse to wear red, just like the Blood Elves refuse to wear blue. And it's just because they are doing that in order to not be confused with one another. Further implementing how close they look. I mean, I think the only real difference now is probably like skin tone. Probably the only real major difference between them all. And you talk to him, and he's like, I gotta bring this letter to the Silver Moon. So we gotta go there. The Ghostlands, I mean, Ghostlands is pretty fine. It just is all, like I said, the only thing I don't like about it, this entire area, is that it's just kind of locked. So you can't, like, be like, oh, it's gonna be different this time or whatever. It's the same with, what are they human? the Draenei, it's the exact same thing. Their area is locked, so you're kind of like stuck with the whole. That's what this is. This all takes place way before Cataclysm. Not necessarily the best. So in the RP sense of things, whenever you enter into like buildings, whenever you're going through a town, if you're in that sort of like the town, you can run around in technically, but in buildings you usually want to walk. How to walk is usually by hitting the backslash button, but that depends on if you have like a big keyboard, like a standard PC keyboard, or if you have a laptop. Some of them are small, they cut out that section, so you have to look for it. But yeah. So we get these, help us out a bit. Agility is what we want to focus on as hunters in general. Which is how it goes. So we will ask what the Forsaken are doing, even though for us, we don't know. It's forsake everyone else.
We will have justice.
So for those who don't know, technically,
Farewell.
Sylvanas was once a high elf before a certain person, let's say, removed that trait from her. I'm gonna sell some stuff that we don't need. Like cooking, I can see cooking being a thing, but I just can't see certain other things being as such. And we don't have that much bag room space right now, so I mean, something they do enjoy that they changed, like they put in the ability to basically always have. I don't use mana. Food is food though, so 162. Probably get something better. There we go. Yeah. So basically, they made it where it's just so much easier for like the transmog aspect of things, because you don't have to worry about it. You can kind of just have an item, put it on, take it off, and you're able to transmog it, which is pretty cool. I remember having to have like bags like in your bank that's just items that you want to put on, because you had to own it, I think it was. And if you didn't own it, you wouldn't be able to transmog it. So yeah. So see, we're coming into a place now. Usually you just go and you start walking into the place. It's kind of like a courtesy thing. You don't always have to do it. A lot of people don't care. But it's just how it goes for this moment. They also have a sort of like a headlock, so you can click on someone, your character's going to look at them. So long, of course, they're in the way. We're not going to be walking through the entire place all the time, but we will be doing our best for moments. Kind of making sure things kind of go together quickly. I do tend to go through things quicker. Not necessarily like a heartbreaking speed, but I do go through stuff pretty fast, and I totally messed it up for you guys. Sorry about that. It's more just I played a lot of these myself, so I kind of picked up like how to kill certain dudes or how to like move against certain things. So it's a suggested 3-player one. We get a stamina and critical strike. Critical strike's pretty good for us. Stamina would just be as generally good. It's the equivalent of increasing your health all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean that's important for us. If you do stuff right, you're not going to really need to worry about it too much. But in our case, we probably do want the stamina when you really think of it, only because our goal is not to die. More health makes it a lot harder to not die from. So we don't even have Apprentice yet, which means we don't want it necessarily right now. Which is fine. These are all things that she can pick up as she goes on. The main focus is that she'd basically be the one, well, as I said, she's gonna be more on the lines of like eating things raw. There's another fellow Blood Elf hunter. Try not to step on anyone by mistake here. Yeah, so I am also personally grinding for the the green mount for the green pro Drake. That's gonna be special in itself. So we want some Murloc spines. We can get a new thing. Again, stamina is good for us necessarily. I mean, so basically, it's a simple breakdown. You have agility, which is the main focus for all hunters. Usually, it's also the focus for any DPS that's going to be like a male to leather style. We'll probably cater more to anything that's going to be male for our character because of how we're playing. We're going to want to have that extra armor as well. So we're going to have that stamina for more health. We're going to have the armor to help reduce the damage to us. Just because, yes, we have disengage, it just doesn't always mean that's going to be a perfect way up.
State your business.
So, and there we go.
The reckoning is at hand.
Alright, so I will let you guys off here for the moment. We'll start back in a second. I just hope that everything's working out perfectly fine. So, and my cat's going to see us off as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video so far. If you did enjoy it, you know, feel free to leave a like or whatever. I don't mind. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.